I know we're a half hour late, so we're gonna get started. Need a motion, to approve the minutes of last meeting. Ms. Frazier, Mr. Leggett, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Who? I don't know where Jeff is.
Jeff Tennyson?
Yeah,
Yeah,
where's
he's
Jeff?
here. He's here, but he
here.
just had to step out for a second.
Well, that's not, no, that's,
Where's the attorney, too? He's not here either.
You know, they all left us, Gene.
you must have wore him out.
I didn't, I was sitting there listening to all this stuff.
You must have wore him out before we came in here or something.
No, I didn't. Frank, could you just see if Jeff is out?
He'll be right back.
Oh, okay. And the attorney's not here either, so I don't know.
Can you go
Maybe I'll
to...
go get another cup of
Mr.
coffee.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, if you have to go to the bathroom...
No, I don't.
In the middle
I'm
of a
all right.
meeting, can you get up and go, or...
Yeah. Except the only problem, it gets registered here. You don't read our things.
Oh, you put that in
You'll
the
have-
minutes?
Yeah, you'll have a reading say Supervisor Molino left at 10:15, and then Supervisor Molino came back at 10:20. You read, everybody knows what happened.
Y'all go west, huh?
They take very good minutes here.
They have the exact time, huh?
Yeah. Oh. Well, we need the attorney about the skate park.
Yeah.
Need Jeff Tennyson about the parcel of land.
Gotta bring up the...
We need an attorney here.
What's
We
the
need
date,
Jeff.
Lisa, on the volleyball thing for teen...
And an attorney.
School, what's her date?
You wanna move down to 5 so we can move it along?
Sure.
Yep.
You got it on there?
Oh, yes, I do. The fifth
All right, let's move it down to number 5 because, Dave, you wanna talk about the drinking
Yeah,
fountains?
I had a request from some people to do walking through there, and some of the skateboard park kids, they come over, they don't really have any money with them, the water in the machine's $2.25 a bottle, so I looked at Granger, we can get a small drinking fountain and put it inside the breezeway for them. Jeff has a cut sheet of what it is, it's like $300 for the drinking fountain, and we'll install it.
Have a snack? Okay.
Yeah.
We went down to the water fountain.
Where'd you go?
On break.
So yeah, it's something we can put in. It's just the purchase of it's about $300, the drinking fountain we're talking about, so whatever the committee would like to do, we can order it and get it put in next couple of weeks.
All right. Everybody agree with it?
For that. Well, it'll come out of the maintenance.
Yeah, come out of our...
I think we have budgeted money for that.
Okay.
I'll make that motion then, that we purchase that.
All right. Mr. Leggett, you make a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, move on, we'll move it quickly. Now the park, wetland maintenance, Walt Lender, I don't see him.
Yeah, I apologize, I thought that they were gonna come back and talk, what was the immediate
She
need.
didn't come in.
I think they may have had a conflict.
Get her.
All right, so we can pass that right now?
I did not see Walt.
I didn't see him. I thought he was going to be here today, to be honest with you.
All right, we'll move along, Mr. Mayor, on the event update.
We have two, we booked a new event tentatively. Tina from the Prospect School was sitting out there. She didn't come in, did she, Joanne? Maybe she doesn't know. The volleyball tournament has been held, the Prospect Mountain tournament for benefit the Prospect School has been held at the $1 Million Beach for 25 years. And this year, for some reason or another, the state told them they could have the tournament, but they could not have the refreshments. And they have a beer truck and so on and so forth. And so Tina's here from the Prospect School, and she asked me if they could obviously use the festival space, which is the next nearest location to the $1 Million Beach. And and I said yes, and then she was inquiring about the fee. So I'll let Tina introduce herself. And
Tina, would you get up to the microphone up
Yeah.
there so we all,
Right
thank
there,
you.
Tina.
I'm Tina Kelly, the Director of Community Development at Prospect Center. As Mayor Blaze described, it was quite a shock to us after 26 years of receiving, our temporary liquor license to serve on the beach. At the last minute, we're kind of scrambling. We have to change locations for a barbecue and a dinner that we do. So we're just asking for this year, just so we can, continue with the tournament. It's a huge expense that we weren't expecting. So it would be, great, and we'd be so gracious if you could waive the fee for this year, just so we can kind of, get back to square one and figure out all the extra expenses. Anyone else?
The date is August 5th.
5th and 6th. So
Fifth
we would
and-
actually need it the
and
4th,
sixth.
5th, and 6th in order to set up. We have about 850 players registered for each day. We're completely sold out. One of our main sponsors being Saratoga Eagle. So everything would kind of move over to the festival space. So as soon as our volleyball players would finish their rounds, they'll go over there and we'll have the beer and water, barbecue, possibly some entertainment over there.
Does the state charge you anything for that amount, or what you use from them?
Does the state charge us for $1 Million Beach? No.
Charge them. And the charge with us, of course, would be, for 2 days, would be $3,000. So obviously, it's something they didn't expect. They're looking, obviously, for us to give them some consideration.
What would you recommend? One day?
For the festival space.
For the festival space
Festival
for 2
space,
days.
yeah.
We get to 1,500.
2-for-1, happy hour is nice.
1,500.
Always draws a lot of people. That would be 1,500 for 2 days. We still would have to supply attendance both days. We still would obviously have to pick up the cans, which I told Tina, and I would suggest $1,500 to this committee in view of the fact that it's a not-for-profit organization based in Warren County. Use that reasoning, I guess.
So you're talking about one day and then the other day is free, basically.
Right.
Ms. Frazier, any comment, or Leggett, Mr. Leggett?
Were there, nobody else was lining up to use the space on that?
No, that was an open week. It was the only open weekend we had in August, actually, so it worked out pretty good for us.
So, 15's better than nothing.
Yep.
Frazier, agree?
I agree with that,
We can
yes.
help them out. I mean, it's a nonprofit. They do a lot of great stuff for the county and the area. So, anybody want to make a motion? Ms. Frazier, make the motion. Mr. Leggett, second. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You got it. Thank you.
The only other thing, again, these full-page ads for Hemet's Motorsports and Muscle Machines, Classic Car, full-page ads with Lake George, Warren County, the whole thing. I just want to bring these magazines because they gave them to me free, and I'm going to order a Mustang from this one here.
Actually, you couldn't pay for all that advertising.
But you can't, these are double-page ads in these magazines. You can't pay for that, no matter where you go. So, and they're almost book solid, completely sold out. So it's nice, double-page deal. So.
All right, we'll go back up to referrals to the county attorney on the skate park.
That's from October of last year. That's not been resolved?
It's on here.
Mary was working on that, and she has taken her leave earlier than expected, so I don't have an answer, but I can find an answer and communicate it.
Okay.
We talked about that,
Yeah, we did.
Mary, about the insurance.
Yeah.
Obviously, the insurance carrier always has an issue anytime you deviate from what you're doing. And this was the right bikes in there, right?
It was related to the use of non-skateboards, like
Right,
inline
bikes.
skates or bicycles or the
Yeah.
razor-type scooters.
I think they frowned upon it. I believe that's what they told her.
It was even stronger than that. They said it's
They said no.
Yeah, I think we discussed that last month, because I think you were saying that was a way out for you,
I don't remember.
right?
There was also a meeting on site with our insurance carrier, and they reviewed the entire facility and recommended a whole bunch of new signage.
Yeah.
So it's not that there's been no action since last fall. It's as the winter subsided, we did do a field review with those with the insurance carrier.
We ought to be able to get an answer for that one.
It's still restricted, I mean, it's still...
It is restricted to skate park.
It's on the sign.
Okay. Jeff, distribution of the south parcel?
Yeah, that was the item I had Walt Linder on here. We had distributed that plan. That was a comprehensive operations and management manual for the south parcel wetlands. So my understanding is that representatives from LGA and I think Soil and Water went out and reviewed the current needs, and the intent was to have them report back to committee on what this year's needs are, the immediate needs for any type of maintenance or improvements or repair to that wetland. So I'll keep them on the calendar for next month to have them come back. I did have some discussions with Jim Liebram, Soil and Water, also about entering into or the need for them to enter into a contract with the county for the annual review of the site to determine what needs are. This year they went ahead and went out there and reviewed the site comprehensively, but Jim had asked if it would be possible to do a recurring annual agreement for that review to occur and for his staff time to be paid for.
You need a resolution for us to...
Well, what I told him was that we would develop a scope and then come back to committee. So I'll try and get that sorted out before next month, before next committee meeting.
Anything else come from the committee, open to the public? Anybody have a comment?
No, I mean, our season's going, everything's going well. We've had one incident where a sprinkler line got broke. We made the repair, sent a contact with Jeff to put that money out of their deposit, and everything seems to be going pretty well now.
All right, let's get a motion to adjourn so we can get into DPW. Whoop. Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Michael Consulo, Lake George Chamber of Commerce, CVB. Last week I made a call to Lisa Grant, and the result of the call was threefold. Number one, I was told that the expiration of our maintenance of the Festival Commons website brochure had expired in 2016. Secondly was that I was a little dismayed that no one in my office brought it to my attention or that I was aware that it expired. Thirdly, a little dismayed that no one from the county had contacted us. We are at a juncture now. We're going into the busiest part of the season. Festival Commons, the website is up and running. There's been some considerable work done to it since its development. I believe it was around sometime in June that we proposed the maintenance through the chamber, the maintenance of the site. We proposed it on an annual basis, and we agreed upon a 6-month, which again expired in 2016. I'm here to ask because I've heard that there's been some concern about whether we're doing the job right, effectively. Just want to know where we stand. Do we want to continue? Do you want to continue having the chamber work on the site, or just let us pass it on to someone else?
Well, that was for 6 months from June to December 31st of last year, right?
Correct.
Am I right? Remember?
We've been doing maintenance, unbeknownst, not knowing that the contract had actually expired. We've been doing maintenance from January to current.
Okay.
So, we've still been maintaining it. It looks good. I don't know if you've watched the site or look at it. I think that the team is doing a very good job and keeping it up to date, and everything is really looking good. But again, we're at a point now.
So it's been expired for 6 months, because this is June right
expired.
now, right? So you're looking to get it renewed for another 6 months?
Well, I'm looking to see what you would like us to do with it. I will do whatever the committee decides. I mean, if you want to farm it back out to another organization, you want to take it over, that's...
Well, that was for $5,000, if I'm not mistaken, for 6 months. So we're going to need at least a proposal of something that we could look into. I just don't know how to handle that. It's 6 months later, Mike.
I'm not quite sure of the situation. So Festival Commons has its own website,
Yes, sir.
Right.
stand alone. And it was maintained and paid for by
This committee,
this committee, and then it has expired, but you're,
we continue to maintain it to today, up to today,
okay.
and we're
And this committee had a contract with
Chamber of Commerce. So the question I'm asking is, if you're happy with our work, would you like us to continue to do it? And we'll move forward. I think we've kind of lost whatever happened in
Yeah,
the past 6
kind of
months.
lost a little,
Yeah.
fall behind.
Who owns the website?
We do.
I guess this
Who's we?
Warren County.
Warren County, I'm sorry, we
Warren County
we
and-
manage it. Warren County
Warren County.
purchased it through Normandy Marketing.
Too many people talking. Who owns the website?
You guys do.
We
You do.
Warren County?
Warren County.
Okay.
It was originally designed by Normandy Marketing.
Right, I remember that. So we own the website.
Right.
Yes, then the question came up, who's going to manage it?
5,000 was to manage it for 6 months?
Right.
What goes into managing a website?
Daily updates, changing of photos, getting the last event off the books, promoting the new one. We placed ads relative to the Festival Commons sites just into books that event planners would look at to see if we can catch their attention on booking an event there. So we've done marketing for it, social media, tracking its usage, everything that goes with the maintenance of the website.
So would that 5 equate to 10 if you went for a year?
That's what our original plan was, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not a techie, so I'm lost.
I think it was a reasonably priced offer.
So for clarification,
Go ahead.
it was more than the website, so they, the chamber did maintain the website. I think Amanda has been out and about at events and taking pictures for social media, and she does, Amanda Metzger posts quite frequently to social media. The resolution says that they're going to do some press releases and that the chamber is creating a Festival Commons brochure, which I think has been in the works for a while. So just that understanding that there's a little bit more to it than just the daily maintenance of the website that the chamber has been taking care of for this last 6 months.
The current brochure that we have, which was printed some time ago, it's still being utilized, it's still being presented at trade shows and mailings, but we are in the process of updating the new brochure. That takes time because things are happening there frequently, so it's hard to put a real brochure together when things are still changing.
Lisa, how much money do we have in the account for this festival space? Is there an amount of money in the account?
We have the budget and everything.
Wasn't anything?
Mr. Chairman, where does the money come from? This committee, is it budgeted?
If I'm not mistaken, I think we put it into tourism budget last year for them, because this committee didn't have that kind of money, right?
Verified with Lisa, but I think it was going to come from OSTAC, but then it ultimately came from the tourism department budget for the $5,000.
And,
Supposed to come from the reserve last year.
yeah, but we
We
didn't,
ended up covering it.
right, they didn't have the reserve, and we ended up covering tourism. All right, just, I don't want to put you on the spot, but would we have 5,000 to do the next 6 months in the tourism?
There are other lines of our promotional budget where we could switch things around.
Because I don't think this committee has even the 10. We'd have to find a place to get the 10 if we did it for another year. Right?
You own for 6 months?
Well, I know we owe them, but we didn't have a contract for that. The contract was only 6
As long as
months.
you owe them, they'll never be broke?
Well, I don't know, Mike. What would you, put me on the spot here now? I mean, are you looking for the whole 10, or can we maybe come up with something like 5 from the tourism? Because if,
Mr. Chairman, what I'm looking for is an acknowledgement that you want us to continue doing it. I can wash the last 6 months.
right, that's what I mean, because if nobody knew
Yeah, no.
you weren't getting paid for it, it was done, that was
Yeah,
great.
that
We
kind of
appreciated that.
It's moving forward.
But what I'm trying to get
I think that, obviously, if it's another 6-month period, then I think we need to just make.
and then get in October and get it onto some kind of a, either OCTAX
Talk to
or,
me about next January.
Right.
The next 6 months, instead of letting.
would everybody agree to that?
Right,
would-
would this be an OCTAX eligible thing that they could apply?
I imagine it would be. I mean, that's something I gotta leave up to Mr. Dickinson to make a final decision on.
It is on
It is on the OCTAX, so it could go to OCTAX, but it'd have to go in October or sometime in November when it is, for January, starting in January. But if you can survive, I'd like to see the committee make a motion that we take 5 out of the tourism budget and help him for the next 6 months.
Consider the last 6 months my departing gift to you.
That's what we'll do, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Is that all right with you, Mike?
That's fine.
All right, so Ms. Frazier, make that motion.
Make that motion.
Mr. Leggett, you second it. Any other questions on that? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, passed.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Motion to adjourn?
Oh, I wish you were...
Mayor, Ms. Frazier, all in favor? Aye, we adjourn.
I wish you were staying here for another...
You bet.
You.